And we're live.
Wait! Ah!
Hello. Hello, and welcome to Poor Unfortunate Podcast. Oh, she's burping.
I had to clear my throat. Okay. I always sound so dry.
Hold on.
Those are birds.
Is my window open?
The kitchen window's open?
Oh, the kitchen window's open. I'm going to close the kitchen window. Hold on. Fucking birds.
You can hear the La Croix bubbling. Here's your weekly ASMR content. Oh, he's mad today, people. He is in a mood today, everyone.
I'm not in the mood.
Fucking birds.
I just don't want to listen to their shit.
They really were just going like...
I'm like, don't you have something better to do?
Yes, I've had the odd complaint, but on the whole, I've been a saint. To those poor unfortunate souls.
Okay. Let's try again. You welcome this time.
Hello, and welcome to Poor Unfortunate Podcast. I am Caroline Ametti.
And I'm Connor Perkins.
And you know what this podcast is about already.
But
So
if
welcome.
you don't, this is your Disney podcast for all the kids who grew up and want to listen to people shoot the shit about Disney the way they do with their friends.
Yes.
Also, if BuzzFeed Disney Quiz became personified in your ears.
That's my favorite one. That's my favorite way of describing it.
That's us.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So let's see what's new.
We had a very magical week because it was Connor's birthday.
Yeah,
and we
that's
went
dating
to
the episode again, but
nobody knows when your birthday is. It could be any time.
Yeah, this could be any time.
And
my birthday's every day. What
yes.
are we talking about?
And we went to medieval times.
We went to medieval fucking times.
It was awesome. Connor got knighted. I caught a flower tossed by our knight. So it was just really fantastic.
One of the best birthdays I think I've ever had.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We saw Hades Town on Broadway. We
Woof.
literally sold our souls and some of our body parts to see Hades Town. And it was
It
worth
was worth it. And I would sell the counterparts of my body to see it again.
So that you're just a stump.
I will watch that thing as a
It
stump.
was incredible.
Yeah,
What else?
It was absolutely incredible.
Oh, I didn't even tell you. I saw Aladdin.
You bitch. You went without me.
You were at Much Ado About Nothing.
You
were at Much Ado.
What? Who did
He's
you go
in Central Park at an opening night party for the public theater, and he's like, "Oh, you went without me."
Who did you go with?
I went with Christopher, my boyfriend.
No.
It was really good, but we'll discuss it another time.
I mean, we're gonna have to because I haven't fucking seen it.
He was at an opening night party on the Great Lawn, and I'm supposed to feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this week, we have received tons of wonderful, really great questions from our, I can't even call them listeners because we haven't released an episode yet, but fans, I guess they are.
These are our fans who...
People who follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, so this is our wild card episode that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So this episode each month could change. So we might be doing question and answers. We could do interviews. We could do like another...
We'll reenact an entire Disney animated film, just the two of us.
I mean, that could happen. We could do another rant or rave. So this episode can be anything, but this week we're doing a question and answer.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're fans of the podcast before we've
Which
really had any content.
That really means a lot.
Yeah.
The amount of questions we got, it made me feel good.
Yeah, these are people who really it's nice to have people who believe in you and believe in your passion project.
And it's just goes to show you, Disney fans, they'll find the Disney content and they'll follow. And it's just really, it's already such a nice community.
Yeah, it really is. So
we're gonna hit it.
Yeah, we're gonna hit it.
We try to not think of our answers to these so that this can kind of be, you know, our gut reactions.
Yes. Let's get this thing going.
Let's do it.
So, you want to ask the first question that we got?
Yes. Question number 1. This is from Anne.
Oh, yes, Anne. This is Anne from Maryland.
What? She's just talking about general park tips. So she phrased it. What are our most important fast passes? So what should her group fast pass? What should be at the top of the list?
Okay, so...
For Disney World, I'm assuming this means.
So, I think it really depends on when you're going, what's new, and what the priorities are for your family. So, I know Anne, and I know Anne has 4 kids.
Oh.
And so,
okay.
There are some things for her that are going to be very different than they will be for other people.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely anything new that has come out has to be fast pass. When I went the last time, it was right when the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train was coming out. If you wanted a chance of getting on that ride, you needed a fast pass.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, as far as Toy Story Land, like if you want to ride Slinky Dog Dash, 9 times out of 10 you're probably going to need a fast pass for that. But it also sort of depends on when you go. If you go sort of on the off season, and if you sort of like go right at the beginning of the day, you will probably have a better chance. So it sort of depends on what your priorities are. For Anne's going to need a fast pass Frozen Ever After.
That's what I was going to say.
Norway.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say that too.
If you've got any Frozen lovers, you have to fast pass that thing unless you do your tip that you gave us in the other episode of going to breakfast at Akershus, and then as soon as you're finished breakfast,
hightailing it right to the
go
ride.
right there, and then you can basically just go on.
Yes.
But Frozen Ever After is definitely going to be one that you have to fast pass if you want to do it.
I'm going to throw in, if we've got kids, Peter Pan's Flight, just because the line for that is always insane and it's not particularly cool. It's always very packed in there. It's not a pleasant line to wait on. Yeah. Definitely do Peter Pan.
They've added some interactive things in the queue as you get close.
It's just
but that's not really
in there.
Yeah,
always.
And that's also not really where you need it. You need it when you're far back.
Yes.
So
I'm thinking in Animal Kingdom, if your kids are tall, I mean, it's very difficult to get fast passes for things in Pandora, but try to get those because those are just other lines that for kids it's too long for them to wait. And Holly, you said Slinky Dog Dash in Hollywood Studios. I would agree with that. And kids too. Do get one from Midway Mania. That can also just be a little bit of a frustrating line. Yeah. So do that too.
Yeah, I agree. If you're an older person though,
if we're talking older people, it kind of speaks for itself. Like if it's the big thrill rides, you're gonna want a fast pass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
unless it's one of the ones that you're willing to do single rider, then maybe you don't need.
Or one that you're gonna book it first thing in the morning. Mm-hmm. So like in Magic Kingdom, if you're an older person and you're like Big Thunder Mountain, Space Mountain, like I gotta make sure I do those. Get a fast pass for Big Thunder Mountain for the afternoon because that's when the train is going the fastest because the grease on the track has been melting in the sun. So get the fast pass for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and book it to Space Mountain first thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our advice on that. What's our next question, Carol?
Number 2. Is it worth it to fast pass Happily Ever After fireworks? Or is it a waste to hold on to a fast pass all day and not be able to get more?
I mean, that's a thing. And that's a very specifically Walt Disney World thing. Because Walt Disney World, at least the last time I was there, you get 3 fast passes, and once the third one is used, then you can get more. Like, you can't have not used all 3 before you try and get more. And one of the things that you can do in Disney World is use a fast pass for certain nighttime spectaculars to have kind of priority seating. So, Happily Ever After fireworks, it's a priority location. They have one in Epcot. They have it with World of Color. In Disney,
we got one for when I went to World of Color a couple months ago, and it wasn't necessary. And I would say don't fast pass Happily Ever After because there's number one, you can have a perfectly good vantage point of it from so many different parts of the Magic Kingdom that there'll be room for you. And if you really want to view it from Main Street USA going straight up to in front of the castle, I never appreciated how much space there is there until I went to Disneyland, and you are just like you're just packed in there like sardines. And it's so much more open in Disney World that you do not need a fast pass. Wherever you go, you'll be able to see it.
You can be smart about your day and securing a good spot.
Yeah,
to watch
if you are
the fireworks.
if you are tied to a very specific part of Main Street where you want to sit, just make that the part of your day where everybody sits down, you get snacks, or you get hot dogs from Main Street, and you're going to sit there for a little while, and that's your time to eat and take a break anyway.
Or pack like a light dinner. Like, make lunch your big meal.
Yeah.
And pack a light dinner. And then you can eat from there, and you can see the parade and stuff like that. So it's great. And also, I would recommend the Bridge to Tomorrowland is one of the best spots to watch fireworks.
Good one.
So yeah.
So we say no, do not fast pass halfway.
Yeah, I would say no, not at the expense of losing the opportunity for more fast passes in the day. Next question. Beep boop bop.
Best shoes for all that walking in Disney World.
I mean, you've got to wear something that is comfortable. And you've got to break it in before.
Yes, that I will say, choose what you want, but break it in before the trip.
Yeah.
I've made that mistake so many times.
Give yourself at least a week in the shoes that you're going to wear in Disney World before. And I would say, give yourself something that breathes.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes I like to wear sandals that have a little bit of support, just because like it's so hot. Sometimes I just want my feet out.
Yeah, I'm not ever going to really endorse sandals.
That's what I wear a lot of the time.
Carol does it, but not me.
Not for what they sell for men. Ladies, you'll find good sandals that you could wear, not really for men.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in get yourself some good
running sneakers.
Get yourself some good tennis shoes. And I would say make sure that the shoe that you're wearing is not flat. That's the problem that people run into when they wear Chucks. Your shoe is so flat that your feet get tired because they're just not supported, and they're spending most of the time that you're walking around supporting themselves. So get yourself a running shoe or a tennis shoe that has some sort of arch support for you. Don't wear flip-flops. Please, please, please do not wear flip-flops.
Oh, they'll rub you like nobody else. You'll be
they're
covered in
gonna
blisters.
like, oh my god.
It's happened to me. Did it when I was a kid.
So quickly into the trip, you're just gonna be exhausted, and then you're like, I need new shoes, and then you're gonna spend a butt ton of money in the park buying a shoe that isn't that much better.
That isn't even supportive. Yeah. Thank you, Anne.
Thank you, Anne, for
Those
your
are great
questions.
All about the parks.
Great. So our next one is from Alex from New York, Alex P. So the first one that Alex has sent us. General thoughts on the state of the remake economy, plus which old movie do you think could most use/survive a live action version, and which you desperately want them to stay away from? So this is quite
multi-layered question.
Such a complicated
discussion.
Gosh. On one hand, you're like, these stories are being reintroduced and repurposed and updated to reflect our culture as it stands now, which is very valuable, and it's giving a younger generation, it's giving them a fresh chance of seeing a movie that isn't necessarily like watching an old movie. So it's like, I see the value in that like you're giving these stories like another life for a younger generation. I also think that if you're going to remake it, you need to give yourself a reason for remaking it. It needs to be relevant. You need to be doing something different with it, but not just for the sake of doing something different. Like, you need to really be in the way that's like Cinderella really sort of explores more deeply the story. You can't just like,
right.
Don't give me a shot for shot remake. And I think that's one of the things that's, I'm starting to have a lot more trepidation as Lion King nears.
Oh my goodness! If they hadn't already touched that would have been my answer for which movie should they stay away from remaking. It's that one.
I'm like,
what?
It's just starting to feel. It's starting to feel like it is going to be a shot for shot remake.
And it's also not live action.
It's not live action. It's just really good animation. Like, really good animation. Yeah. Like, they released the character posters, and people are flipping out. They're like, this is just a picture of a meerkat with Billy Eichner's name slapped over it. And I'm like, I get that's the aesthetic that they're going for, but at the same time, like, Pumbaa looks scary. He looks kind of scary, and there's a reason why
it's just
animation exists to sort of...
Right, that's the thing.
Round out things.
That's what I was going to say, is, and this might be impossible to do, but for me, up until Lion King, which, you know what, I'll withhold my judgment until it happens. Up until, before Lion King, so up until now with Aladdin, as much as you'll see in our previous episode, we don't really enjoy Beauty and the Beast. I think the general trend, though, for live action remakes is they're starting to get the hang of it and starting to see what people want. I saw a lot of really great things about the Aladdin movie. They got the casting just right and things like that. And, like, I loved Cinderella, but they didn't include the song, so it lost a little bit of that kind of the magic for me. A lot of the live action remakes just feel a little flat compared to the cartoon, which I guess you can't avoid. But I think they're going to get it right. Yeah, right. Hilarious.
Like, that's
right.
So ironic.
And a testament to the animators. But I think they're going to get it right eventually. And I was thinking the other day, I was like, what movie are they going to remake that's going to get it right? It's just going to be super magical and super exciting.
They already did it, and it was 101 Dalmatians.
Oh. I could see Little Mermaid going really right. I'd be scared because I love The Little Mermaid, but I think it could be the one because there's so many good songs.
I'm also, like, there are a lot of Disney movies before the Renaissance, before, like, the Disney movie musical, that have sort of gotten lost to time and makes me sad. And I think that's actually a really good opportunity for a remake to come in and breathe new life in old animated movies that might inspire people to revisit the animated film. I'm thinking, like, I think The Sword and the Stone would look really great as a live action remake. I think The Rescuers could do it. I think The Rescuers could take it, because you have to see that there's, like, a quality about it that you're like, this would be so interesting to see done live. To have in The Rescuers a human interacting with animals who can talk. That's like when you think of the Jungle Book with Jon Favreau's The Jungle Book. I liked a lot of what was happening there, although I didn't necessarily love some of the casting that was chosen, blah 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 blah. But what I liked that was this sort of mixture of what's live and what is CGI, and I think it could survive it. Also, The Rescuers is, like, such a great sort of movie in that it stands very well on its own. But as far as the remake culture, there is definitely a value to live action remakes. I think we need to be a bit more discerning about what we're remaking rather than just going through the Disney Renaissance, which happened like a half a minute ago.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And just churning out movies again that we've just seen made. Like, Cinderella really had an impact because we haven't seen Disney tackle that story in so long. 101 Dalmatians, that with Glenn Close, like, that really struck a chord because, again, we hadn't seen Disney tackle that story in a while.
And we really liked Dumbo.
Yeah,
I really liked Dumbo.
I thought Dumbo
I know some
was
people
good.
didn't. I thought it was really good.
I thought it was good. And it's because I'm like, people are more open to movies that are being remade after they've had a chance for the original to breathe a bit.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't think we need to be remaking.
What do you want them to stay away from? What movie?
I wanted them to stay away from Beauty and the Beast. So it's already ruined. I don't want them to touch Tangled.
Oh, it didn't even occur to me. Wow.
I don't want them to touch Tangled.
Interesting. I wonder if they would.
I don't know.
What I'm trying to think what I don't. I've accepted that everything is fair game now.
I know.
I would rather them not do Snow White because I feel like anything that they could do with it, like, you know, darken it up a little bit for a live action. It's been done with all these Snow White retellings that have already become movies, like Snow White and the Huntsman or Mirror, Mirror, and all that. I don't really need it. And it was such a big part of Once Upon a Time on TV.
That's very true.
It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. those are our answers. Remake culture, it's very complicated.
More on that later.
More on that later. I mean, it'll probably be a continuing thing.
Yes.
It has value, but make sure that we're asking ourselves, why do we need this movie? Why does it need to be remade? And what more are we going to do with it to make it relevant? Next question from Alex. His ones are deep.
They're deep, I know. We appreciate it.
Favorite hotel in the parks and why? Plus, what would your dream as yet undone hotel's theme be?
Ooh, okay. So my favorite is the Boardwalk.
Not the Polynesian?
It was close. That's the two it was between, of course.
Scandal.
Oh, it's so hard. But the Boardwalk.
Okay.
For me, it's mostly nostalgia, but it's just a really prime location. You can walk to Hollywood Studios and Epcot. There's so much to do on the Boardwalk. I love the pool. Yeah.
See, for me, I haven't stayed in that many Disney hotels that are still around. I stayed in Dixie Landings back when Dixie Landings was a thing.
Yeah.
I've stayed on the Fort Wilderness Campground.
Fun.
In one of the cabins, which that was fun. It was a lot of fun. My personal dream, I want to stay castle side in Grand Floridian. I just want to.
My dream is a bungalow
and a
Polynesian on the water.
But I'm also like, as they've been unveiling the new resort,
the
Riviera, I'm really interested because I mean I'm a sucker for any sort of like, you know.
I feel like if they hadn't invented that yet, that would have been your dream theme. Would have been pretty much what the Riviera one is,
like a European influence sort of thing. So,
what would your dream theme be? Like, what kind of hotel?
Oh,
it's really tricky.
This is super easy for me.
Okay.
I want you to build the Beast Castle, and I want to stay there.
I knew you would say that. I knew it. And we're going that way with the new Star Wars hotel, so it's totally could be a thing.
I would like to stay in the Beast Castle.
If we're talking more something that would fit in, something that's not totally immersive, that fits in more with the other hotels, I would want to see. I would want one that's not as immersive feeling as the Beast Castle. Where, like, you're in the Beast Castle, it is the Beast Castle. But I would want something that has...
like a medieval sort of...
the feel of it. I'm looking at Connor's shirt right now, which is the So Eligible shirt from Cakeworthy. And, like, I see, like, the grand staircase that's in Cinderella's
like a French
house. Something that's like a chateau or just like fairy tale-ish, but more sophisticated. Subtle fairy tale. Like, just with grand staircases and, like, marble... Yeah, it's probably the same thing, but I would want just also the option of a less immersive version where it's just like hints of that. Yeah.
Or Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
Like an old-time Hollywood hotel. Like if you could stay in the Hollywood Tower Hotel, like I think that would be pretty hot.
Yeah.
A lot of Art Deco shit.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I dig that.
I like that. That's a good one. Good question.
I think that's my non. If I can't stay at the Beast Castle, give me.
That's a good one. I like that too.
Let me stay in the Hollywood Tower.
We'll have that. So we choose the Hollywood Tower, the Beast Castle, and a French chateau. That's just very generically fairy tale.
Yeah.
Yes.
Generic fairy
tale.
Okay. Let's see. What is his next question? Where do you think the Disney Pixar Blue Sky animation will be in 5 years, and where do you want them to be? What kind of projects do you guys think they should be focusing on?
Ooh. God, another heavy hitter.
These are really heavy questions.
These are like episodes in and of themselves.
You know, I will say, my friend Nick at work, he is a firm believer that Pixar is not moving in a direction that is in line with where it has been. It seems to be playing more to kids and not as smart and for adults in terms of the storytelling that we used to get, like with Monsters Incorporated or with The Incredibles or with Toy Story and A Bug's Life. So, I mean, that does sort of worry me that, the teaser that we got for Onward, as excited...
I was going to bring that up too. That's so funny.
As excited as I am for Onward in terms of the premise, it felt very Illumination. And I'm like, we've got to try harder. When Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse came out this last year and it took the Oscar from Disney and Pixar, I thought it was the best deserved Academy Award that was given, because it's pushing animation in terms of what we can do and the type of storytelling. And I thought Disney and Pixar played it very safe this year, where they released 2 sequels. We got The Incredibles 2, which was a great story and I thoroughly enjoyed. And we got Ralph Breaks the Internet, another one that was a lot of fun and I enjoyed. But they weren't pushing the boundary. They weren't trying to do something different. And I think Disney is at its best when they are showing us something new.
And I hope that they'll, in Pixar especially, that's why I was going to bring up Onward also. I just hope they'll stay away from the trend in children's media that's just leans towards snark. And a personal hope of mine for Disney is I want the Wonderful World of Disney Sunday nights to return, and I want them to start making more TV musicals. Those were so good.
I know.
I loved them.
The Brandy Cinderella.
Cinderella, like Annie and the Music Man.
Oh, I could live without the Music Man.
I liked it.
I'm really ready for Disney to bring back the 2D animation again. I get why we're doing the 3D CG animation that we've been doing for Frozen and Tangled and a lot of those other movies. It allows you to do a lot of really, really interesting things lighting wise, and you can just do more with it. But I think Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse has given us a look at what things could be that sort of bring us a little bit closer to the 2D original hand-drawn. And also, Paperman got an Oscar because it figured out how to take hand-drawn animation and put it into a computer and manipulate it as a 3D CG film. Why have we not gotten a feature film using that technology? We all love hand-drawn. We love it.
Yeah.
You've found the technology to give us hand-drawn in the way that you want to make movies now. Do it.
So we want them to go back to the roots because we want hand-drawn, and I want the restoration of the Sunday night Wonderful World of Disney feel.
Yeah. So...
Oh, and just Disney, if we're talking about a little bit of the parks too, I hope they will give Disney World and Disneyland some of the technology that they're experimenting with in Asia, because we'll enjoy it too.
And because it's better.
And
I think that wraps up Alex's questions. So
yes.
we want to move on to the next ones.
Yes, these questions are from Neha from New York City.
Oh, hi, Neha from New York City.
So, Neha's first question. What is your favorite part about Disneyland, not World?
Well, I can't answer that. I haven't been to Disneyland.
I would say...
But I will say World of Color.
It was going to be one of the things I said. And I also just love that Disneyland, you can walk to everything. You don't have to get on any buses. I love that. And...
See, I don't think I would like that as much.
Well, it depends on what kind of visit you want to have. You're not going to have a week-long vacation there, a week-long adventure.
I want the anticipation.
I get it. But it's like I was there for one day. I got to do everything, which was really nice. And I also really enjoy New Orleans Square, which is not in Disney World. I love it. I love having that. It's really nice. Okay. If you had to create a new Disney story or princess, what would it or they look like?
I guess this is sort of selfish being a plus size person, but I would like to see a plus size person who is not just a fool.
Nice. That's a good answer.
Because they're always the fool. And James Corden did a very beautiful article a couple months ago where he was talking about how you don't see plus size actors having normal stories, especially love stories, because it's seen as gross or it's seen as hysterical because they're always the butt of the joke because they don't look like the beautiful sort of thing that we're trained to look like. And I think animation has always sort of been at the forefront of changing a lot of perspectives about what is acceptable, because in animation it's not real. So you can do more things. And like when you think about how, Family Guy and The Simpsons get away with some of the things that they do and say, it works as animation because it's not real. But because it's not real, but we're still seeing it anyway, it starts to change perspectives. And I think animation is where cultural shifts really start. And I would like to see a cultural shift away from bigger people being the butt of the joke. So, sorry things got a little serious just then.
But that's real.
That's real. That's real. What about you?
I think it's all the same things. Because when I tried to imagine another princess, I'm like, what do I want out of the princesses that I don't already have? And they're going to come up with something and I'm going to be like, that's what was missing. But I just don't know what it is right now. New Disney story. I would like, it's not new. They've done it with, things like Maleficent already. But I would want something else that goes like behind the scenes of a story that we already know, a fairy tale that we already know. Something like, a la Wicked, a la Maleficent. Explore a villain or just give us something that else was going on during a story that we really know well. That would be cool.
Yeah, and also Disney, if you're listening, all of our ideas and stuff like that are ours. We retain the rights to them. Unless
you decide you want to make it.
Unless you want to like have a conversation.
Reach never say anything.
And reach out to us. Like we'll talk.
All right.
Give me the next one.
If you could create your own Disney-themed Starbucks drink, what would you call it?
Oh Christ!
I love this question, but I haven't.
Because you're basic.
Basic. Yes. Who would I want my Starbucks drink to be? I mean, in my dream world, there'd be a whole Starbucks secret menu where, like, all of my favorite characters had their own drink.
Oh, I have one that I'd like.
Okay.
It would be a Frappuccino.
Okay.
And it would be sort of like a cinnamon cream Frappuccino that would be creme de la creme a la Edgar.
Oh.
But as, like, a frozen drink.
Oh.
I would do that one.
Oh, I like that.
And then sleeping pills.
I would want one that's I'm not good with the names, but I know what I'd want them to be like. I would want one that's just a very pretty color that would be based on Tangled in some way, shape, or form. That would be color changing, preferably like to indicate, when Rapunzel's hair lights up. It would probably
would it go from beige to brown?
Yes. Actually, no, it's simpler than I thought it was going to be. It would be some kind of ombre drink, which they already do at Starbucks, but it would be more coffee-based because their ombre drinks are fruity usually. And it would be like a really light, like blonde roast to dark roast kind of macchiato thing.
Okay.
That'd be fun. What would be the name of it?
What would you call it?
It'd be like the haircut. I don't know, but that's a terrible name.
That's terrible.
I always had a thing for brunettes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. So you have to make a Starbucks drink that is based on Ursula.
Oh.
I feel like that's good because she's kind of our mascot. Mm-hmm. What would it be?
There would definitely be chocolate in it. There would be a chocolate mocha drizzle around the outside of the cup, kind of like you get on a mudslide. That's what
beautiful.
Evokes her tentacles.
Okay.
And then I would say...
Oh, yeah, it would look like the tentacles. Nice.
Yeah, and then I would say...
Lavender lattes are very trendy right now.
Yeah, I would
Could
say...
be a lavender latte.
With a shot of espresso at the bottom.
Ooh. Oh, that also sounds yum.
Topped with whipped cream for her hair.
Edible glitter. That's
and purple. Edible glitter, yeah. And,
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, can we have a little shell necklace at the top made out of chocolate?
Yeah.
Great.
And that's the unfortunate soul.
Beautiful. I love it.
Starbucks, this is my intellectual property. Let's chat. I'll license it to you.
I'm gonna go because you can go to Starbucks and really customize your drink. I'm gonna go and try to make the closest approximation to this that I can, and I'll take a picture.
Okay.
Cool.
Love it. What's Neha's next one?
Okay. Fuck, marry, kill. Disney Prince and Princess Edition.
Woof.
Okay, I'm gonna take it away.
We gonna start with princes or princesses?
Princes.
Okay.
Ooh, I am going to fuck Adam, aka the Beast. I'm going to marry Flynn Rider, and I'm going to kill Snow White's prince.
Yeah.
Kill him.
Yeah.
Kill him.
See, I'm gonna fuck Flynn Rider. I'm gonna marry Prince Eric. And I'm gonna kill Snow White's prince.
All right. Well, the kill was unanimous.
You can also kill Prince Hans, but he doesn't really count as.
No, I won't put him in there. Princesses. Okay. I've got it. I'm going to fuck Princess Jasmine because she's beautiful.
Of course you are.
I'm going to marry Belle. And I'm going to kill Aurora.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I never liked her. She kind of makes me mad.
Why?
She
only has 16 minutes of screen.
She doesn't talk enough. I'd be bored as hell. And she's also kind of whiny. It would drive me crazy.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
She doesn't know how to do anything for herself either. She doesn't know how to take care of herself. It would be awful.
She picks berries.
Yeah, exactly.
She knows how to pick a berry. Hateful. Okay, so I'm gonna fuck Ariel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna marry Belle.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna kill Snow White.
I knew it. She's so sweet. How could you do that? She only wants to help people. She just wants to help. She survived a lot of stuff too. She's a survivor.
I know. She also, is a felon. She broke and entered into a house.
All right.
I mean, I had another unpopular answer. I would be
I think I just changed my mind.
I would kill Mulan because she has no business being in the Disney Princess collection.
Oh, wow. I think I would actually marry Tiana. I take it back. Ooh, it's hard between Belle and Tiana, but I think I would marry Tiana. Mm. I think I would enjoy that more. Mm. Yeah. Mm.
You'd enjoy that? She's pretty high maintenance.
Yeah. I like that, though.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. I can see in your eye what that relationship would be. I would stay away. You two would fight.
That's a good question. I like that.
She'd be like, Caroline, you ain't working harder for your dream. And you'd be like, I'm doing my best! And then
it would pretty much be if Tiana and Charlotte got married, and that would be what it would be.
Yeah. What's our next one from Neha?
If you could live in any one Disney universe, which world would you choose? Or whose world would you choose?
This is a tricky one, and I feel like I need to devote more thought to it.
What's your gut?
My gut is I would want to live in the kingdom of Corona.
I knew you'd say that. Well, this is kind of an out-of-the-box answer, I suppose. But I would just want to live in the real-life version of Adventureland from the Magic Kingdom.
Huh.
Yeah. Good questions, Neha. Love those.
Are those all of Neha's questions?
Those are all of Neha's.
Okay, let's move on to Alex from New York, our other Alex. Mm-hmm. Alex A. What is your favorite piece of Disney trivia?
I don't know if you can consider it trivia, but I like all of the conspiracy. No, I know what it is. Oh. I love the super involved conspiracy theory about all of the Pixar movies taking place on one timeline in one universe. I could read about that for hours.
Right, but that's not a piece of trivia.
Sure it is.
No.
That's trivia. That there's a theory. The trivia is that there's a theory that all the Pixar movies exist in the same universe.
Okay, let's see. What's my favorite piece of Disney trivia? This one's kind of Disney Parks trivia, but I think it's very, very fun. So in Liberty Square, in Disney World, there, if you look at the ground, most of the street is paved, but there is a brownish wavy path that goes through the center of the entire area. It kind of has some gravelly bits to it, and it's much more rougher. It's not very paved, and that was built to reference / allude to the above ground sewers in colonial America, where you literally throw your shit out the window and into the middle of the street.
Yes.
So I love that little piece of trivia.
Beauty.
Let's see, what else does Alex have? As objectively as possible, what is the best Disney Renaissance movie? This is cruel.
Beauty and the Beast. There's a reason that it got nominated
for an Oscar.
Yeah.
Got nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture. when no animated feature film had ever been nominated for Best Picture.
And dramatic and character development wise,
Yeah.
I think you can objectively argue for that.
Yeah, a lot.
Usually when we've played this game in my family where we make a bracket, it always, like, the final two are always Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King.
But I think it's Beauty and the Beast. I think
It just is.
Yeah. I mean, people will argue all the time about Lion King and like the visuals and everything like that, but I would argue just as much. There's a fucking crane shot in an animated movie.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be as objective as possible, but in terms of a movie that advanced the art form,
right,
a
and
movie that is just very solid from beginning to end, has music that you don't want to mess with, that has a huge emotional impact. It's Beauty and the Beast.
It's the epitome of what the Renaissance was for Disney, which was bringing so much really deep soul to these animated characters, and you can't really beat Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The end.
Yeah.
The end.
Alex also says, what do you think is the best attraction in either park and why?
One attraction.
One attraction in all the parks, or in each
like
park?
No, I think we should try to do the best attraction in Disney World and then Disneyland.
Well, I can't weigh in on Disneyland.
In Disneyland, I'm going to say right now, Radiator Springs Racers.
Oh.
Because it's a great ride, but also like the technology of when you meet the characters is pretty incredible.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll pick that.
Cool.
Disney World.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Is it the Haunted Mansion? Yes or yes?
In terms of like what people would call the best right now, just in terms of technology, it's Flight of Passage. But that's not what I would choose.
How disappointing.
That's not what I would choose, though.
I know.
I'd pick the Great Movie Ride. I'm going to bring up the Great Movie Ride in every episode
every
of this
fucking
podcast.
episode. Wow.
Yeah, you know what? That's my answer. Oh, I know. I'll pick. This is like an offbeat answer, but I'm going to stand by it. Toy Story Midway Mania. I always get off that ride just being like, yes, that was so fun. I just really love it. I love it.
I think I might stick with Haunted Mansion.
That's a good choice.
I really appreciate the newness of the story of it, in that it's not based off of any particular Disney movie, but rather is a new story that was developed only for an attraction that kind of gives us a launching off point for more. So I think to build a solid story that originates in the form of an attraction, I'm always going to be there for that.
Good one.
And that's it for Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
You want to do the next one?
Our next person is Erin.
Erin, this is my older sister.
Now this is a quick one. Ready?
Erin from Maryland.
Erin from Maryland. Best underrated Disney movie. Go.
Black Cauldron.
Princess and the Frog, because I think it's underrated. Nobody gives that movie any love.
Black Cauldron, because it's dark.
All right, next. That's all from Erin.
From Isabel.
Isabel
out
from
in
California.
Cali. What is your favorite food place to stop at in Disney World?
Mine is Ohana at the Polynesian Resort, where they serve everything family style. There's pot stickers and wings and a really delicious salad, and then they just come by with skewers of shrimp and chicken and steak, and just you can eat as much as you can fit into your stomach, and everything every time I go is so yummy, and everybody that I bring goes, I think that might be the best meal I ever had. So definitely go, but don't go for breakfast. Go for dinner.
Great. I'm going to take this question a little bit differently, and instead of going with a sit-down restaurant, because I will always say be our guest, I'm going to go to stop at. So kind of like a fast service, like counter service sort of thing. And I don't know why, I don't know how it happens. My family always ends up at the Columbia Harbor House.
We do too.
Every single time. And we love it.
We do too.
It's so it hits It's also in just such a great location because it's right by the Tangled restrooms.
And who doesn't love that theming?
Yeah, you can
colonial theming.
You can. I mean, for me, it's also sort of nostalgia because it was between my favorite ride for the longest time, which has been Peter Pan's Flight, and my older sister's favorite ride, which is the Haunted Mansion, and it sits right there, and that is always where we would stop for lunch because we would have gone really hard in Fantasyland, and now we're starting to branch off into the other stuff, so we'd stop there. And me and my mom and my sister would get cheeseburgers or fish and chips and stuff like that, and then Aaron and my dad would go off and they'd get a turkey leg, and then they'd come back and they'd meet us there, and we'd sit up there, and now that they have Rapunzel's Tower, you can see it out the window.
Oh, we always end up there too.
Fun fact about Columbia Harbor House, as you enter it from the Fantasyland side, the entirety of the exterior of the building is in the Tudor style to match Fantasyland. But if you enter from the Liberty Square side, it is completely colonial. Great. So that's Izzy's question.
Okay, next one from Molly.
Oh, it's my cousin, Molly from Baltimore.
Okay. Stitch's Great Escape or Alien Encounter?
Stitch's Great Escape.
Alien Encounter.
Don't at me, people.
Stitch's Great Escape is lame and I hate it.
I'm
angry every time I go on that. I leave
you
angry.
Can't anymore.
I left with also a bruise on my shoulder from those stupid harnesses. And I liked Alien Encounter because I liked the fact that there was something that really genuinely frightened people. We're missing that right now. Like real scary. That's not scary because it's like a thrill ride, but scary fear. Also, Stitch burps taco in your face and it's absolutely disgusting.
It's rancid.
It's awful. It made me so angry because my shoulder already hurt from the harness smashing down on my shoulders, and then I just had bad taco breath on me. I was very angry.
I'm sure. All right.
That's it from Molly.
Who we got next? From Dave.
From Long Island.
Long Island.
Long Island.
Which era of Mickey Mouse is your favorite?
I think the cartoons from the 50s, 40s.
Yeah, I would say, I love Sorcerer Mickey.
Yeah, in that area.
I like Sorcerer Mickey and sort of any sort of like short around that time. As we started getting into the 90s onward, I started to kind of tune out a bit from the Mickey that was sort of being
I very
presented.
much like Mickey Mouse in the children's program, the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. He's very genuine, classic, sweet Mickey, not snarky Mickey.
Yes, although Mickey has always been mischievous.
Yes, but now with those new cartoons, he's very snarky.
Kind of like an asshole.
Yeah.
Yes. Dave also says, which princess has the best hair? Go.
Pocahontas.
Rapunzel. Hers is functional.
It's true.
Has Marvel ruined Disney's magic?
No.
I think Marvel is letting Disney in on a new kind of magic.
Yes, for me it's enhanced the magic in this way. I was never really big into superheroes.
Neither was I.
Now, it's gotten me into it more, just because you call it Disney and I'll buy it. But also, it's just, there's a lot of, like, my boyfriend or my brother and other members of my family are super into it. And now that they're incorporating it into the parks and things like that, like, they can be equally as excited about seeing characters in the park as me. Like, I'm as excited to see Belle as they are to see, also it was super cool to see the Black Panther, but like the Black Panther, you know?
So Dave's next question. What major brand should Disney ruin next?
Never ruin, never.
Shots
that is an incorrect question. I'm going to take that as what major brand should Disney take over next? And I say any of them. So let's see. I want Disney to... What are things that I just like, cafes.
Just cafes.
Cafes. I want Disney to... I don't want them to take over Starbucks.
You walk into a just random cafe, like little, cafe, whatever around the corner, and you're like, oh, it's Disney.
Yes, that's my dream. That's my dream universe.
I wouldn't be opposed to this is the, basic ass white person in me. I would not be opposed to a Disney Vineyard Vines collab.
Oh, that's good.
I would love a Vineyard Vines style tie with Disney on it.
What's a major brand? What are brands? I mean, like, name some.
Coca-Cola.
Because they've already done so many things.
I know.
Like, they've already made lines of makeup in Sephora. You know what I mean? That was my first thought. Mm-hmm. They've already gone to Forever 21 and Primark. Like, what else could I ask for?
A phone.
Disney phone.
This is my Disney phone.
I want, this isn't really answering the question. I just want Disney dining experiences in the real world. That's all I ask.
Oh,
Whether
sure.
it be like a cafe, because as I said, I like cafe, like a Disney coffee place, or a restaurant.
Yeah, give me a Disney resort style restaurant outside the resort.
Yeah.
In New York City.
I want Disney to take over Rainforest Cafe. All of them. I want Disney to take over the Cheesecake Factory and make them big, gigantic Disney restaurants. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm you know, a lot of people look down on theme restaurants. I'm not.
I'm
not above a theme restaurant.
We like chain restaurants.
I just did fucking medieval times for my birthday.
We like theme restaurants and chain restaurants. Don't come for our chains.
Don't come for our chains, baby. All right. Next one. Who is it?
It's Lori.
It's Lori. It's Lori from Long Island. Hey, Lori. You listening, baby? Thank you for your sliders recipe.
It's my mom, y'all.
It's Lori.
It's Lori. Lori asks, do you feel a park hopper option is necessary? And I just want everyone to know, she made sure to stipulate when she sent these questions in. She's like, I don't want to know. I don't need to know any of these. But maybe the people listening do. She just wants y'all to know she's an expert.
Yes, she's a pro.
She really is. She doesn't need any of these answers, honestly.
So she's our consultant. So these, I guess you would say, are the frequently asked questions of her that she wanted to,
she's tired of answering them.
She's tired of answering them, and she wants us to answer them for the last time. So, do you feel a park hopper option is necessary? I think it depends on
what type of visit you're trying to have.
It depends on what type of visit you're trying to have and how many days you're there. If I'm there 3 days, I want a park hopper. I want the option to see as much as possible. If I'm there 5 to 7 days, I don't think I need a park hopper.
Here's what I'll say. When we go for a week, we always get park hopper, but that's because we've been there many times. And so we don't need to spend a whole day in one park getting everything done. Oh. We kind of just mosey. So park hopper works for us.
Oh my God, I would murder all of you.
No. Don't get it twisted, sweetie. We don't things done.
You just said mosey.
Meaning
we will eat breakfast in the park.
No, we do not. We eat breakfast in the room.
Okay.
We eat breakfast in the room.
Yeah.
Oh, how about this? If you're staying on the property, get a park hopper. If you are not, you don't do one, because then just go to that park that day and just do that until you're gonna leave the property and go back to your hotel. When we're staying at the boardwalk, we can walk to 2 parks, so we do that all the time and want the park hopper. Because we would do a day in Hollywood Studios and then walk to watch Illuminations in Epcot at night and have dinner.
Okay.
Get the park hopper. But I also just obviously, if you can spare the expense, not having to worry about it, and if you change your mind about something or find out something's happening in another park.
Why would you change your mind?
If let's say
Disney is all about planning.
No.
And you stick to the plan.
No. Okay, here's the situation.
You stick to the plan.
You're going with the family, and you're with a bunch of little kids.
Halfway
through the day, the little children crap out and go back home, and you're like, cool, I actually think I'm going to go to Epcot and drink around the world now and not be in Magic Kingdom anymore.
I never have that. I'm like, why would I want to leave Magic Kingdom? I'm in Magic Kingdom.
You named Epcot as your favorite park.
I know, but when I'm in Magic Kingdom, I need to be in Magic Kingdom.
He's a nut job, y'all.
I am not a nut job.
Get the park hopper. He's wrong.
It's
the hill I'll die on.
What's Lori's next question? No. I think if you're a planner, hit me up.
Don't add extra stress to your trip by being like, oh, I changed my mind and I can't change my mind.
No.
It's your vacation. You're supposed to do what you want.
Yes, and you should plan in advance and do the plan.
Ugh, goodbye. Laura's next question is it worth the cost to stay in a hotel on site?
I would say it depends on how you're getting to Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
If you're driving, I think that if you're driving and you can find, there are many, many, many nice hotels in Orlando. My family personally, we have a timeshare down there. So we frequently do not stay on Disney property, and I don't really feel like I'm missing out a whole lot. But then again, it's been a while since I've been there, and now there's, extra magic hours for folks who are staying on Disney property. There's also the sort of convenience of getting to parks through exclusive sort of transportation. Mm-hmm. But that being said, if you're driving there and you have a car down there, sometimes it's nicer at the end of the day, instead of hopping onto a bus or a monorail to get back to your hotel, that you're just getting in your own family car. Mm-hmm. At the same time, it's like if you're taking a plane, you can avoid needing a rental car because you can take the
Magical Express will pick you right up from the airport.
Exactly.
They'll even bring your bags for you. You don't have to pick them up.
Exactly. And there's a lot of, if you're coming with kids, it can be helpful because all of the stuff that they get inside the park, you can have them send it to your room. You don't have to carry stuff around.
And there's and if, as you like you said with kids, there's restaurants in the hotels where you can meet the characters just more, and not have to go as far. And that I see your point about getting in your own car can be nice. That's why I would say if you're going to stay on site, make sure you stay at a hotel that has another transportation option besides the buses. When it's just a bus, that can get a little, but when you can walk or you can take a gondola or a boat, it's really nice. And it can, I don't think it'll even out in any way because staying on Disney property is so expensive. Very expensive. But you'll cut certain costs like getting from the airport to the hotel and back and getting around and, things like that. And you'll get, the extra magic hours if you stay in the property. So.
And that's not to say that, if you have kids, that you have to stay on a Disney property or it's a no-go. And, yes, they'll put your gifts inside the room for you, but Disney also will send the gifts that you purchase to the front of the park and hold them for you at the end. So it's not the end of the world. Yeah. I think it really just depends on what your priority. If you're gonna just go to Disney and you're just gonna be like, you know what, we're gonna splurge, stay on a Disney property.
And then it's immersive.
It's a very unique experience. But
and you know what,
if you don't have the cash, because look, and you're like, I want my kids to experience Disney World, even if I don't have a lot of money to sort of throw into it, then go find another hotel and it's just as magical. Mm-hmm.
I think staying on property when I was a kid made it more of a vacation for my parents because they didn't have the stress of driving anywhere, and they just got to take a break from ferrying us from place to place because we would all just walk and sit at the bench at the bus stop and wait, and the bus would come and we'd all get on. So they could just relax and be a little bit more hands off. And a couple of years ago, my boyfriend and I went and we didn't stay on property. And I'm spoiled because we're DVC members, so I'm used to staying on property. So we didn't have a rental car. And like you were saying, if you're driving, then yeah, you don't have to. But we didn't have a rental car. So we were relying on the hotel bus service, which is not like Disney bus service, which is continuous. So I think you're right. I think it's what it is. If you have your own car, you're renting a car, it's okay to stay off property. Mm-hmm.
And those are our questions.
Woo! Those are great questions.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I think we're definitely going to be having another question and answer thing sometime soon. So if you have any questions that you want to get our hot takes on, you can always find us on social media. On Instagram and Facebook, we are at Poor Unfortunate Podcast. On Twitter, we are at Unfortunate Pod. You can also email us your questions at poorunfortunatepodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you, and we'd love to see if you've got a great question that we can answer in our next Q&A session. So, yeah, anything you want to add before we close this mother out?
No, that was really fun. We love yous.
We love you all. Bless you.
Bless you.
And that's a wrap. Boop, boop, boop. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week on Poor Unfortunate Podcast. I'm not going to do that.
And that's our show.
And that's our show. Poor Unfortunate Podcast was brought to you by Caroline, Ameni, and Connor Perkins sitting on our, sofa, here in our apartment in New York City.
Honestly, this episode was brought to you, as most of the episodes, by Bath & Body Works.
Oh.